Go off out and take them this extra and go over there and meet them. Okay. Let's start.
I told the kids, please let me be the nervous one today. I didn't want them to be the nervous people. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. They worked hard on this. In 2016, a student came to me and asked if we would do a play about Black Lives Matter. I took it to the advanced group, and we decided to do a play regarding All Lives Matter. And so it has moved into something different, and this is a completely different cast with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 students, and they call it Gun Violence, the Stories. I cannot take credit for anything the kids have done except fussing. That's the only thing I can take credit for. The children have done everything, so I thank you so much. And now we present to you Gun Violence, the Stories.
It's something that we really control. It's killing a lot of innocent people nowadays. You have free will, quote unquote, to do what you want. So therefore, you knowledgeably know that you're grabbing a gun to shoot somebody.
I think the best solution is for these so-called gangsters to put the guns down.
Like things in that nature could be talked out.
Need to be psychologically tested because a lot of the time they have a psychological disorder.
To naturally say, oh, guns are wrong. No, people are wrong. Like savage.
Gun violence is the leading cause of death in this nation. When I hear gunshots, I immediately think somebody is dead. So I asked the group of JK students, what do they think of gun violence?
I honestly think that you can't control gun violence.
You basically cheating life.
It's dangerous and should be allowed.
There's something serious that has to be changed.
There's nothing really being done about it, and as you see, the more and more that we don't do anything about it, the more and more it gets worse.
Definitely need to stop due to the fact that there are innocent lives that are being taken.
Do more background check.
Guns are getting into the wrong hands.
It's an increasing problem.
The solution would be just to make it stricter to get it.
Hopefully people just learn one day that it needs to stop. Not a lot of things people can do. I mean, you can try to make laws here and there to prevent people from getting guns, but everybody at any time is always going to find a way.
We need to take more action in the clinics with doctors, therapists.
Gun violence shouldn't be accepted.
It's all retaliation. We kill somebody's going to come after the person that kills that person. It's a change. We just killing our own.
Be the first ones to make a change if we want to see something happen. I feel like people that just giving guns to the wrong people, like this.
It has taken the lives of so many people.
It's bad because my cousin was killed by gun violence, and I just don't like it. It makes no sense.
I feel like gun violence is something that needs to be spoken on, and
we need to message to better ourselves and encourage each other, but we ain't trying to help each other and nothing. Instead, we killing each other.
I feel that gun violence is not the problem. I feel like it's the people who own the guns. Let people know that it's not really the guns that are killing people, it's more so the people that are killing people. You really stable to carry guns because you're giving these guns to crazy people that want to come up in schools and shoot at kids.
So then I feel like everything is a family.
There are other ways to handle situations that most likely won't result in death.
We need to get everyone's opinion. We need to get, a solution from everybody to kind of work together. That's what's going to make us better.
We as JKs come out to you not only for entertainment, but for a message. A message that goes out to survivors, mothers, fathers, siblings, and friends. The message says, we're out here trying to help. We're trying to help with this war that seems that can't be stopped. It doesn't take one person to win a war.
Oh my gosh, I just heard gunshots. Can y'all see somebody?
Has it come to this? When you witness a shooting, the first thing you see is reach for your phone and take a picture rather than call for help.
Did you see what happened?
Who is it?
Do you know their name?
Does it matter? This is not what we should be concerned about. The question should be when it's going to stop. I can't deal with turning on the news and hearing about another school shooting.
Or a small child being shot due to a random drive-by.
Are these senseless shootings because of a gang retaliation?
There is no respect for human life. Have we really become that immune?
I have personally reached the point where I have nothing left to say. Only prepare myself for this war zone I'm living in.
Prepare yourself? What does that mean?
I have dreams, goals, a reason to live. My family didn't bring me up to hurt others. It's not in my DNA.
It's not mine either. I just want to enjoy my life, attend college, and have a great life. But every time I turn around, somebody's being shot.
I want to wake up from this horrible dream. It is so frightening. I don't believe I can handle losing another friend.
Or a family member. I really don't understand how people can take another life. These are real people. They walked around, had families, laughed.
They have stories. Gun violence took their lives and made them another story.
My current situation feels like a battlefield. Like a scene from my favorite war movie. I never dreamed that a walk to the store could lead to me being shot at. It was another Saturday afternoon. I got a little hungry, so I asked my mom, can I go to the corner store down the street? Of course she said yes, because the store's in about 5 or 10 minutes there and back. So I got up, got dressed, and headed out. On the way to the store was fine. I got there, I got a bag of chips, and I was headed out. On my way back, I had a feeling that I was being followed. So I turned around and realized there was a car trailing me. I didn't think much of it at first because it was a small neighborhood, so I thought it was somebody passing through. I knew something was wrong when he sped the car at full speed, putting his hand out the window with a gun in his hand. I was able to get into a ditch right before he started shooting. I got into another one as he turned the corner to hide out until I felt like it was safe to go home. This is the world we're living in? You willing to kill somebody over a color? You want to kill another black man because they don't have your favorite shirt on? Or they got a color you don't like? A world like this will lead to nothing but destruction amongst each other. Something has to change. I refuse to be another black man killed due to drive-by shootings.
That's good.
But what about the pain a mother goes through when she loses her children? Or when she sees them die right before her eyes? I know that pain. And it kills me to know that in just 19 days, I lost my children. Lee,
He was only 13, just walking home from the Boys and Girls Club. When out of nowhere, he was shot. Not once, not twice, but 28 times. By who and for what? I still don't know. All I know is that my son is gone. And then there was Lamar. He had just turned 19. I saw everything as I stood across the street. I asked him to go to the store and get me a couple of things. He was sitting in his car, and out of nowhere, a man jumped on top of his car and started shooting. I screamed his name as I ran across the street. Lamar! 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 But it was too late. He was gone. They were both gone. And now, I'm all alone.
I was laying down, talking to my sister. She was telling me how Mama made her mad earlier, until our laughs were interrupted by gunshots. We didn't think anything of it, due to the environment that we lived in. We were being nosy and we went outside. Mama had this gut feeling that our cousin was hurt. I begged her not to go over there. I was afraid for her safety. I walked behind her while she jetted across the street, only to see her running towards me, telling me, "Get some towels now, go!" As she was saying that, I saw a body lying on the floor, thinking it was my cousin, so I ran over in tears, only to see that it wasn't him. But my cousin wasn't too far, bleeding from his legs, crying for help. My mind was racing with questions like, why him? What did he do to deserve this? How does his mom feel? Her son is gone? I should have got the towels. But I stood in shock seeing someone die in front of me. In front of my sisters. In front of the store I walk by every day. Now knowing that a young man's life was taken right here.
Hey, best friend. Hey, girl. What's up? You good? Yep. I just need a favor. Why are you looking at me like that? Because every time you ask me for a favor, you make me uncomfortable. You're my best friend. You should be eager to offer some help. I don't mind helping you if you could be there when I need you. Oh, so I'm not ever there for you. You know what? Forget about it. What do you mean? No, you said I don't ever help you. When have I ever left you hanging? I said forget about it. No. You know I can't afford the things you have. You always wearing new shoes, new clothes. You even have the latest new cell phone. Are you serious? You're upset because my family can afford to buy me things and yours can't? Girl, I have to work. Everything is just not handed to me. Oh my God, I must work. Girl, your family gave you a roof over your head. I don't have that. You're better off than me, Miss Goody Two Shoes. I don't have time for this. I'm going. No! You stay right there. Are you serious? You're gonna pull out a gun on your best friend. Girl, put that gun down. Stop!
Two best friends have an altercation over a gun. One is pronounced dead. Accidental shooting. No more gun violence.
Did you see that live feed shooting where that girl shot this dude in the head? People are crazy. How you gonna go live with a gun? That's just me. But the crazy part about it was she was waving the gun in his face. And she kept telling her to stop. But no, she didn't listen. Next thing you know, pop! He slumped over with blood coming out his head. And now I hear people saying all kinds of things like it was a setup. They were high and drunk. He wanted her to shoot him. Are you kidding me? No matter what anybody says, guns are not toys. They're not something you play with. This was a wake-up call.
I remember the day. It was June 12th, and my best friend and I had just flown out to Orlando, Florida to go to this new club called Pulse. Now, we heard it was amazing, but of course we had to see for ourselves, right? And when we got there, let me tell you, it was amazing. There are people dancing and partying, hey! I was dancing and having such a great time. Now, at 2 a.m., it became last call at the bar. And y'all know I had to get a drink. But we never even got that drink. And that's when I heard it. Rounds. Rounds of bullets rang off into the air. You could hear a pin drop, you could hear the bullets drop. I even heard the clip fall to the floor, just so that the gunman could reload. My best friend Eddie and I looked at each other in shock. We instantly knew what was happening. Then we saw a crowd of people going into the restroom, and so we followed suit. And there was blood everywhere. There were dead bodies laying all around. We hid in a stall, and he looked at me with a look that I'll never forget. It'll haunt me forever. It said, "Take care of me. Be there for me." You see, he was more than just a friend to me. He was a brother. We'd known each other forever. And so I told him, I said, "I'll take care of you." Eventually, we left the bathrooms and we went down a long, dark hallway to try and get to the side exit door. And I didn't even check to see if he was behind me. And in that moment, I heard the screams of a girl. She had been shot and killed by that gunman. Eventually, I left the club and I ran across to the fire station to see if I could get some help, but I couldn't. And so I ran to the 7-Eleven convenience store. And I got on Snapchat and I said, "If you are okay, please text me back. Please, somebody help." About 5 minutes later, I got a text from my best friend. He said, help me, I've been shot and I'm going into shock. To know that my best friend who was shot and killed, and there was nothing I could do about it. The pain inside of me, it hurts. It hurts.
It was a Saturday night. I just came home from the movies with my friend. As I approached the front door, I heard a sharp scream come from... No! I tried to open the door, but the door wasn't trying to open. As I opened the door, I was greeted by my dad's body tumbling down the stairs. He was unresponsive. Another sight caught my eye. It was my sister. She was under the kitchen table crying. I tried to comfort her, but she told me to stop. She pointed towards the living room. At first, I thought it was my mom, but it wasn't. It was a masked man dressed in all black, searching the house. Out of anger and hatred for this man, I ran towards him. I ended up taking shots to my shoulder, my leg, and my side. I tackled the man, and the full brawl emerged with punches going back and forth. Is this the end? How is this going to end up? Where's my mom? These questions were rapidly flowing through my mind. 5 seconds of silence, and the tables turned with the quick snap of the wrist. Out of revenge for my father, I pulled the trigger. In that moment, all I could see was red. Out of fear, I ran to the restroom with the gun. Pointed the gun to my head and pulled the trigger. I collapsed, but I wasn't dead. The gun was empty.
There's a phrase that says the good die young. Well, I can attest to that. My sister Ashanti committed suicide at the age of 13. Ashanti was a friendly, outgoing, and happy child. People of all ages could connect to her simply because of the kind of energy she gave off. No one would have ever guessed what Ashanti encountered at the young age of 13. Our mom worked night shifts in the city, so we would always stay the night with our Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe was a creep to me, or what some would call a perv. Whenever I was over there, I would always give Uncle Joe the cold shoulder, or the eye. I even tried to convince Ashanti to do the same, but she never listened. She believed in giving everybody a fair chance. One night, our mom dropped us off. I went into the bedroom Ashanti and I slept in. I plugged my headphones into my phone, cutting my music all the way up, and I shut the door. Ashanti stayed in the living room watching cartoons because the room we slept in didn't have a TV. I got into the covers and soon I was well into a deep sleep. A little after that, I was awakened by Ashanti's loud cries. I rose up quickly, startled by her shaking but also concerned. "Why are you crying?" I said. "He touched me in places Mommy said to never be touched. It hurts really bad and I'm bleeding down there." I got up. "Where is he? I'll kill him for touching you." I got off the bed, tears streaming from my eyes, and I rushed towards the door. Ashanti grabbed me and said, "You can't, sissy. He said if I tell anybody, he won't watch us while Mommy goes to work. Mommy will lose her job and she'll be homeless, and I don't want that to happen." I pulled Ashanti close to me, and we collapsed to the floor in tears. For weeks, we continued to stay the night with our Uncle Joe. I tried to keep Ashanti close to me in the room, but he would always come in there and grab her. Even when I tried to tell him no, he just slapped me around a couple of times or threatened me. After the weeks, Ashanti started to look depressed and afraid. Our mother never even asked why she was like this. She never wondered what happened to her once happy child. She would just say, "You cry too much. Suck that shit up because I don't want to hear it. Ain't nothing wrong with you, girl. You trying to be like them crazy white kids down at that school." After that, Ashanti would suppress her tears. But I knew that deep down, she was hurting. Eventually, I convinced my mom to let us stay home by ourselves. I told her that we were old enough. I told her that I was old enough to care for the both of us. I was so happy that day. I feel like I saved my sister and she would no longer have to deal with the constant abuse and torture. After I finished my homework, I decided to take a nap. When I woke up from that nap, I wanted to go check on Ashanti to see how she felt. When I walked into our bedroom, I was in immediate shock. There was blood splattered all over the walls. And when I looked down, I found my sister lying there dead. She got her mom's gun and she shot herself in the head. I ran over to her crying and screaming, "Ashanti, Ashanti, wake up!" She never woke up. My sister killed herself. My 13-year-old sister killed herself because she couldn't live with the haunting memories of our uncle constantly raping her. Our uncle! And there was nothing that she could do about it. There was nobody that she could go to. Except for me. Why didn't she come to me?
no sibling should ever have to think about or could even fathom knowing that their own brother shot himself in the stomach. Well, unfortunately, I did, and I can never erase the memory. It was a cold December night, but our hearts and our family were warm with joy because it was my brother's 16th birthday. And we had plenty of food and cake and ice cream, enough for the entire family to enjoy. Although, for the past 2 days, I'd noticed my brother being more secluded in his bedroom than usual. If only I'd known that he was hiding such a tragic secret, I at least would have tried to help him or talk to him or something. I never even knew that he was depressed like he was. Depressed enough and stressed enough to where he would pick up a gun, grab the keys to my black SUV, drive down the street to a dark alley, and shoot himself in the stomach 5 times.
Excuse me.
I sometimes put the blame on myself for the rest of my life and my family's life. We will wonder in our heads and our hearts, what could I have done differently? What could I have said differently? I once read his journal and I saw that he was writing some pretty dark stuff, and it was very depressing, but I paid it no mind. I thought it was just crazy teenage stuff. I talked to my mom about it and she said, oh, it's just a phase and he'll grow out of it. But I should have paid attention. We should have paid attention. And because we didn't, now he's gone. Forever. And all that I have left of him is an empty room filled with trophies and an old SUV with crimson-stained seats.
When you think about bullying, you want to stand up for the victim, but you are too afraid. I'm here to tell you how bullying leads to suicide. Suicide is the 3rd leading cause of death among young people. There are 4,400 deaths per year caused by suicide. And for every suicide, there are 100 attempts. People think that high schoolers don't think about death or suicide. But did you know that 14% of high schoolers have considered suicide? And that 7% has attempted it. It's sad that really 1,600 kids stay home every day from fear of bullying. And 10 to 14-year-old girls are at a greater risk. people need to realize, not just parents, not just teachers, not just guardians, but everybody needs to realize that bullying is literally killing us all. It don't have to just be physical or verbal. It has evolved to cyberbullying. So I'm here to tell you to make a stand. Stand up for the victim. Stand up for those who are afraid. Bullying needs to stop.
One day, I'm just gonna beat up everybody who bully me. I'm so tired of being pushed around. I was just coming to middle school thinking my bullying days from elementary were over. But they weren't. I got pushed around and teased every day. They stole things from me, things that meant so much to me. I tried to do the right thing in the beginning by telling the teacher, but it didn't seem like anyone was listening. I walked alone in the hallways every day. I even got embarrassed by my crush. Do you know how frustrating it is to be at school where no one likes you for no reason? I was antisocial because of the bullying. No one seems to understand my pain. I would think of cutting myself or shooting myself because I'm a kid. My life revolves around other kids and going out. But I couldn't even do that because I was a punching bag. I got so fed up that I tried to hang myself. I tried to hang myself simply because the teacher couldn't control the students and educate them on bullying. I knew if they would listen, they would at least fake miss me. I grabbed the gun my dad kept in his room, and I went to the restroom and I watched myself pull the trigger. At least I wouldn't get bullied anymore.
I never knew it'd be a difference to cause such judgment. You could literally be minding your own business, and somehow you would be made fun of and humiliated. Do you think I deserve all this hate towards me when I have done nothing but did what I had to do to succeed in life? Every day you make me feel as if I don't belong just from how you treat me. Every time I walk into the school, I try so hard to keep myself in good spirit. But somehow, you always find a way to torture me. Do you think about what you're saying to me or how I feel? Yeah, you probably don't. I become so tired of the things you say to me that I even beg to stay home. But of course, you always find a way to make me feel ashamed of myself. And the things you post about me on social media only makes matter much worse. Maybe he's right. Maybe I really don't belong here. Maybe the world would be much better without me on it.
The first time I could have social media was in my 9th grade year of high school. Over the years, it became an addiction to scroll up to see the latest post and chat with my friends. With social media, I was never bored. Until one day, my crush Kevin asked me for my number. I willingly gave my number because I was into him. I regret dating him. Kevin was full of it. While we were talking one day, we decided to exchange our passwords to our social medias. Later that day, I tried his password. It didn't work. The password I gave him was real. I asked Kevin, "Why isn't your password working? I've tried it like 1 trillion of times." He said he doesn't remember his because he hasn't been on it for so long. After the conversation, I logged off my social media, I played music, and I took a shower. I was trying to think positive and take my mind off the conversation. A little after my shower, I logged back on my social media and noticed that there was embarrassing pictures of myself online. I panicked and I started reading the comments. I realized that my reputation was ruined, and I wondered how people would look at me at school. No, there was no way I was going to school the next day. I felt like my life was over with, and that I should end it by putting a gun to my head without saying bye. Goodbye.
It all started when I was in the 8th grade. I was hanging with some friends and having fun. But then I found out that I was gay. I thought that my friends would be there for me and have my back. But they didn't. They left me in the dirt. But then, they would tell their friends, and their friends would tell everybody else, until everyone in the whole school found out that I was gay. I would get followed home and get beat up in the hallways. Every day, all people would say to me is, faggot. It got so bad that I used to sit in the back of the class with my hoodie on, ignoring what anybody had to say about me. Until one day, it was a Friday the 13th, and I was just going into gym class, and a group of guys crowded around me. And then they started beating on me. They started beating on me until blood started to drip from my nose and my lip. They wouldn't stop until the coach had to get them off of me. All I could see was people laughing at me, thinking that this was funny. Then one boy got away and started kicking me in the back until I started dripping blood and choking on my own blood. The coach called 911 because I started to black out. All I could see was people laughing and saying, "He's faking it. He's not hurt." Then my eyes closed. When I woke up, I was in a hospital room covered in pink wallpaper. I was in so much pain. I overheard my parents talking about I should have never sent him to school and we should have listened to what he said. And I didn't want to hear that, so I tried to get up and go to the bathroom, but I felt excruciating pain in my stomach and in my arms. And as I lay there in that bed, hating the fact that I was gay, wishing I had a gun so that I could just end it all. I heard a voice. Ooh, I heard a voice. And it told me, it's gonna be okay. You're going to be all right. Gun violence almost stole my life.
The last moment I remember was a sharp pain hitting my body and the crazed look in your eyes. I remember you used to love me at one point, but I don't remember when the love became lost. I remember you used to put me first at one point, but I don't remember when I started to become last. I remember I was the first thought when you woke and the last before you went to bed, but I don't remember when I started to become a lost memory. I remember you used to hug on me and kiss on me with love and passion, but I don't remember when it became just a routine. I remember the first time you hit me. But I don't remember becoming your punching bag. I remember the first time the police came concerning a call about domestic abuse. But I don't remember the number of times they came after that. I remember the emotional pain you started to cause me. But I don't remember becoming numb from that. I remember the abuse from your words, but I don't remember fighting back. I remember the pounding of your fists, but I don't remember fighting back. I remember the numerous apologies, but I don't remember a change taking place. I remember still trying to love you, but I don't remember why. I remember seeing the gun, but I don't remember being in a gun range. I remember seeing the crazed look in your eyes, but I don't remember what triggered you this time. I remember feeling a sharp pain, but I don't remember aching. I remember seeing blood pouring out, but I don't remember cutting myself. I remember seeing the light, but I don't remember turning them on. I don't think I'll ever remember how we got to that point, or what led you to point the gun at me. I don't think I'll ever remember how I became another statistic of how a woman is shot every 16 hours due to their partner. I don't think I'll ever remember how I became a victim. I don't think I'll ever remember anything but the sharp pain hitting my body and the crazed look in your eyes.
You're nothing. You're a slut. You will always be a failure. At least that's what he said.
Yes, my own father abused me verbally and physically. My father always had a drinking problem, so his words wouldn't really mean much. Because I knew in a few hours, he would forget everything that he had said to me. My father's name was Derek, so that's what I called him. I know you're probably thinking, wow, your father lets you call him by his name? I know it sounds weird, but I never thought much of it until one day. It was last Tuesday, and as usual, I'm watching one of my favorite TV shows, Coffee with You. My dad came in around 8. He sat next to me. He smelled like heavy cigars and liquor. He asked me how my day was. I couldn't respond back. He has never, and I do mean never, asked me how my day was. I stumbled over my words saying, it was good. That's nice, he said, putting his hands on my thighs with this distorted look in his eyes. I'm not gonna lie, it scared the shit out of me. I jumped up in fear saying, Dad, what are you doing? Didn't I tell you never to call me that? That's what he said. He pulled my hair back. I tried to get him off me, but he put his elbows in my back, causing me to collapse. I told him I was going to call the police. He expressed to me that when they got there, they would find me dead. At this point in time, I didn't know what to do. I thought of killing my father. I knew where he kept his gun at. I knew it. So I waited till he went to sleep. But I didn't grab the gun. I did the most strongest thing anyone could have did. I called for help. And later that day, my father was arrested. I was almost a victim of gun violence.
I remember being home, putting my 3-year-old daughter to sleep. My husband Barry came home very upset. He went straight to the kitchen, grabbed an ice cold beer, and turned on a game. A little after his 3rd drink, he started yelling at me about nonsense. I was so confused. I told him he needs to calm down before he wakes the baby. He slowly got up and started walking towards me with a raging look in his eye. He grabbed me by my neck and pushed me against the wall and said, "Don't you ever talk back to me again. Do you understand me?" "Yes," I said, with the little breath I had left in me. Later on that night, I was getting ready for bed. He came in the room apologizing, saying he'd never do it again, and he loves me, and he'll never hurt me. And I believed him. The months went by, the beer cans piled up, and every chance he got, he laid his hands on me. But it's me. If I listen and do as he says, he wouldn't hurt me. It's the 3rd month, and I'm late coming home. When I walk in, I see several beer cans on the table. He comes up from the other side of me and grabs me by my arm, asking where have I been. I told him I was out with some friends, but he didn't believe me. Of course he didn't. He thought that I was out with another man. He dragged me upstairs into the bathroom and drowned my head in water. As he pulled me up, he said, You better not ever come home late again. What was I thinking? I should have never stayed out late. I know how he gets when he's drunk. If I would have never stayed out late, he would have never hurt me. Fourth month. And just when I think things will get better, he just comes back 10 times worse. He says he does it because he loves me, and he only wants what's best for me. I'm now 5 months pregnant, and I'm scared. I'm scared that something will happen to me or my baby as the abuse gets worse and worse. Today, I brought a gun to make me feel safe. Now I know nothing cannot happen to me or my baby. I went home and I put the gun in the nightstand on my side of the bed. Later on that night, Barry came home very upset again. He was looking for some piece of paper. He was tearing all the drawers apart and yelling at me to help him. He went upstairs into the bedroom and approached the nightstand on my side of the bed. He opened the drawer and pulled out the gun and asked where did I get it from. I told him I got it just to be safe. You know, anything could happen. He knew I was lying. He knew that the bullets in that gun were made for him. I was so nervous. My heart was beating so fast. I slowly walked up towards him and tried to grab the gun, but he cocked it and aimed it at me, yelling, "You were going to kill me? You were going to kill me," over and over. I ran downstairs into the kitchen and grabbed the knife. He's following me. Gun still aimed at me. I'm backing up and he's just getting closer and closer. "You wouldn't hurt me," I said. He looked at me with an evil grin. He's telling me to put the knife down, but I'm too afraid. My baby's in the back screaming, "Mommy, Mommy." I slowly put the knife down and I walked towards him. And as I reached for the gun, boom, he shot me. And before I could fall, he grabbed me and my daughter. He took us to the basement and threw us down the stairs. My baby's still crying. I tried to tell her to stop crying. Mommy's leaving now and Daddy won't be able to hurt me no more. The neighbors heard her cries. They called 911. When they got there, they found us in a basement. Me dead and her still crying.
I had a best friend. She was so smart, so beautiful, and so talented. We would hang out all the time until she met her boyfriend. I didn't like him at all.
Girl, look at what my boo just bought me. It's cute, right?
I love it.
He loves me so much. Oh my God, he called me right now. Hello?
What took you so long? You answer when I call. I need you home right now.
I gotta go. He misses me.
He misses you. Yeah, you don't want to get hurt again.
What? Girl, that was my fault. I made him mad.
What about the time you didn't have the money to pay for food for dinner and he slapped you?
I should have told him I couldn't pay that day.
And what about the time we were hanging out? You came home late and he slapped you. And what about the time he kicked your door in, pulled out a gun, shot and killed you? I should have told someone the first time he hurt you.
getting up in the morning, brushing my teeth, combing my hair, and my sister and I would hightail it on out the door. What excited us both was the ride to school, you know? The wind blowing through our hair, passing by all the trees, and then we'd come to a stop, which was school. We'd kiss our mom goodbye, and she'd always wish us a good luck and a nice day at school. But we didn't know that this day was going to be different, that this day was going to be the worst day of our lives. My sister and I went into school. We took our separate ways to go to our friends and off to our first period. It started off kind of slow. Nothing much was happening, but then my teacher started to make us laugh, and it progressed into laughter, giggles, and it was just a whole bunch of fun. First period ended, and we were on our way to our second period. I saw my little sister in the hallway, and I yelled out to her, "Girl, you got a big head." She yelled back to me, "Your mama." I yelled back, "Trust me, I know." Then we parted our separate ways to our second period. It started off great, laughter. Then all of a sudden, we hear this deafening scream. We run to the door, not knowing that there was a man there with a whole bunch of guns. And there was a fifth grader. She was lying outside the door, and we're watching her life being taken out. And we all start to cry because we don't know what to do. She didn't do anything. She was just an innocent little girl. And my mind starts racing, and I'm wondering where my sister is and where she is at this moment as the horrors and terrors are roaming the halls at this moment.
Lunch is my favorite time at school. Me and my besties sitting around talking about what we did for the weekend, watching all the cute boys in the cafeteria walk by. You see all your little cliques, laughing, talking, having a great time. Of course, you have the ones that eat the food, the ones that sit around with their eyes glued to their phone all day. And then you have your loners. Especially this one kid. We knew him to always walk around and just watch everybody. He was quiet, but most of the time, he just watched everybody. The scary part is, he looked like everyone else. He didn't stand out, he didn't dress different, his hair wasn't different. He looked like somebody I would talk to. I remember that day. It was different from the usual loud cafeteria activity. I mean, everyone was still doing their regular routines, but just a little bit different. I was sitting at my usual spot texting, and then I heard a kid yell out,
"He's got a gun!"
When I looked up, he was standing in the middle of the cafeteria with this thing that looked like the machine gun. Everyone just stood there until he aimed it at this one kid and shot him. Everywhere, people pushing other people. Then a third shot, then a fourth shot, shot after shot. I was so scared. I hid under the table holding my friend's head, who had blood dripping down her face. Before anyone could stop them, he aimed it at his neck. Lunch used to be my favorite time at school. Not anymore.
I was at work, stressed out as usual, thinking about what I was going to cook for dinner that night. Frustrated about not being able to buy my son those tennis shoes he asked for on his birthday. I didn't see the text from my baby. I swear I would have rushed to that school immediately. I would have broken those doors down myself and rescued him. At this point, phone is ringing repeatedly, call after call, of people who knew he attended that school. God, not my baby. His dad called, and then my parents and neighbors and friends. I don't remember leaving work. I don't remember driving to the school. I don't remember anything except standing there among other frantic parents as the kids ran out of school petrified. The sound of the ambulance alone was sheer terror. Dead bodies of 4th and 5th graders being carried out. And I'm standing there. No, not my baby. No, I can't lose him. Guilt fell over me as I remembered I didn't hug him that morning and told him I loved him and have a good day at school. Something said, look at your phone. But I couldn't. I was too scared. I couldn't imagine somebody shooting my baby. I couldn't imagine never seeing him again. God, help me. This time, I heard the same voice. This time, calmer. Look at your phone. I pulled it out, but my hands were sweating, and I kept dropping it. I looked at it and I seen his name pop up, but I was too afraid. Mama! Mama! I kept hearing. Baby. This time, it was getting closer. Mama! Mama! I turned around, and it was my baby. He ran to me and he hugged me with those little arms. And he said, they're dead, Mama. They killed all my friends. I didn't mean to be selfish, but I was hugging him. I was so happy it wasn't him. That day, gun violence almost took my son.
I just want to open your mind for a second. I was reading this article on campussafety.org, and something on there caught my eye. So, out of 174 school shootings, 86 were at K through 12 schools, 76 was at college and universities, and 12 were unintentional. That last part made me really think, 12 school shootings was unintentional. Because if you really think about it, you gotta have a clip in the gun. You have to load one in the chamber. And you have to go up to the school with a mindset saying, I'm gonna shoot all these kids and adults. But that's just me thinking. That's just my basic math. But then it occurred to me, if you don't take the gun up there, if you don't go up there and pull the trigger, you cannot kill innocent teachers and students who just being productive, who getting ready for the future. I mean, and then the news portray them saying that, making them look all innocent and making it look like it was just an accident. That was no accident. Because you went to that school full of kids and parents and teachers. You knew they was there. You knew they was unprotected. And you decided to shoot and kill them. Because we let these 12 unintentional shots keep going, kids are stuck with the images of their friends dying and the gunshots they heard.
There's 145 people killed between the month of January and April of this year due to mass shootings.
Every Sunday, I would attend church. I loved listening to the pastor preach about how much God loves me and wanted the best for me. It always uplifted my spirits. But I never thought a person would walk into a place of worship and unleash their rage. People that wanted nothing more than but to leave their cares behind. And what was so frightening, that the man that shut up this church, he would always laugh and talk with us. I don't understand. He destroyed people's lives. And I barely made it out with my life. What went wrong? What happened to us, Lord? Help us all, Lord. Help us all.
In all our years, I never expected us to be here. Now, we were like brothers, man. We played together, we fought together, and we bled together. So why's that we're here? Now, two brothers, guns in hand pointing at each other, and a pool of blood in between them. I guess I gotta trace it all the way back to middle school. I get this word all the way wrong. We both knew you was the smarter one, so you ended up going to future can or something like that. And I'll enter some community school down the street. We still be close, fool. You ever need me? I might have crossed the tracks. I remember you telling me that. If only we really knew, it was bound to happen. I caught my first body when I was 15. It was out of self-protection from moms and I, but it was still murder. Not too long after that, I joined this gang we once feared as children, out of protection and what they can do. Between getting into college and, like I said, protection, moms needed help. And joining this gang is all the help that she needed. I never realized I would end up killing people. But at the end of the day, it was out of me or them. So I had to get used to this lifestyle that I lived. I was proud of you, man. I was hearing big things about you. Only 16 in big wig colleges looking at you. You was out there doing great things for the both of us. Yeah. both of us. Not too long after that, I noticed you started to get dark circles around your eyes, and you were the opposite color than mine. You tried to play it off as in you needed sleep and you had to wash. But you can't lie to me, man. I know when somebody joined the game. The next time I seen you, a week later, today, I was posted on the block waiting for my homeboys to come get me when I seen you. You had this real haunted look in your face, and you had blood caked on your all-white Air Forces. As I approached you, I realized the horrible truth. I seen a body and realized you killed my homeboy. You must have knew it was me, because you drew your gun making me draw mine. Now here we stand. Two brothers. Face to face, guns in hand, pointing at each other and a body in between them. With a quick flash and a loud bang, now one of those two bodies lay lifeless. And all I can remember is seeing that once innocent kid I called my brother. Then I noticed something needed to change. Two of a kind should never have to kill each other. We shouldn't have to be forced to fight because of colors. The hood should be safe for you and me. All of this is something I would have said if I was the one to live and you weren't. I can only hope and pray that you share the same thoughts as I do. But you can't, can you? You just another nigga.
When I was in high school, I couldn't wait until I got my first job. Being able to put on a cute uniform and make my own money was important to me. Until I realized it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. I had to clean restrooms, cook, and take orders. What? I remember this one weekend when I volunteered to work the night shift. It was busy as usual. And I know that I had to close those doors by 10 o'clock or it would be hell getting them people out. They had just came in from partying. And I remember taking order after order after order. God help me, my feet was hurting. Then I remember this one man. He was standing over there at the table. I mean, it wasn't unusual or anything, but he just kept looking out the window as if he was looking for something or waiting on somebody. At this point, it was 9:59, and I had to go and lock the door. And he was coming after me as if he was finna leave, so I stepped to the side and let him go. But when I turned around, it was a gun being pointed to my head. I stood there, frozen. I said, "Sir, what are you doing? You don't have to do this." He said, "Get in the kitchen." I walked, frantic. That night, it was 3 other people working with me. We went into the kitchen, and the girl on the fry station screamed, "Ah!" He threw me to and told us to get on the floor. Our manager came out, and he said, "Open the vault." I said, "Open the vault." She stood there, and she said, "I don't know the code. I can't open it." At this point, I'm panicking. I'm like, God, we're gonna die. But I knew I had to get a hold of myself. And I said in my calmest voice, "Mister, we all have a family. I'm only in high school, and I want to make it to college. Please, you don't have to do this." I looked at him, and he looked at me with this evil look in his eyes, and he said, "If she don't open this vault, all y'all getting shot in y'all head." And she screamed out, "I don't know the code. God, we're gonna die." But luckily for us, it was one of our monthly mystery shops. where one of our district managers come in and pretend to be a customer. No one came to the window, so he immediately blew his horn. Beep, beep. The robber got scared, and he bolted out the back door. That night, gun violence almost took my life.
No more gun violence. No more gun violence. No more gun violence. I've come to you on business. Not so much business as it is a request. Not so much a request as it is a statement. But America doesn't take too well to my opinion. So like I said before, business. I've come to you like a thief in the night to steal those rosy colored glasses that they were giving out at the past election to normalize these tragedies. I've come to get you out of bed to stay woke. You see, we don't see a problem until we're in the middle of it. Sorry. You see, it makes me mad because I don't want to have that type of patience. So, I'm here to talk to you about what we all are thinking about, but we don't want to say. I'm here to talk about the war on guns. Now you might say, let's get rid of all the guns. But crazy thing is that guns don't kill people. Now you're looking at me kind of funny, so I'll say it again. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. So unless you plan on getting rid of them too, then you've already lost your war. Next it'll be the war on knives or the war on bombs. To win the war on drugs in your community, you must touch them. Change our parents to teach our children. Make them aware, because only then will there be progress.
If y'all could just give us a minute, because I definitely want you to talk to the actors. If the crew could come down and prepare yourself, Dr. Davis, because I'm going to call you up too. But I am so blessed to work with these awesome young people and to allow them to be creative. Our tech student, Christian, always says to me, trust me, trust me. So a lot of the images we hadn't seen. We had to trust him. Lights, Cody Weaver, said, trust me, trust me. So I said, God, I give these children to you, and I trust them. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud of them. I'm proud of our actors, because a lot of them did not write the monologues. Everybody that wrote a monologue, could you just step out and you performed your monologue that you wrote? When Jason did his monologue, I could step. I heard somebody say Trayvon Martin. That was not Trayvon Martin's experience. It was Jason's experience going to the store. And so he shared his own experience. This was a lesson plan where every single one of my classes had to write monologues, they wrote speeches, and they created posters. And the kids were eager to do it. Now, Dr. Davis, Miss Carrier, if y'all could come forward, Miss Carrier. Because they are the reason that the kids got to perform in a professional theater. It was their relationship.
Can we give our students, our Lions, and Ms. Hickman a round of applause? See, what you don't know, and what you may know, is that Ms. Hickman is the mother, one of the mothers at our school. And when she came on earlier and she talking about how she fusses at kids, she fusses at me too. So, it's not just them that get it. But I appreciate you, and I thank you for everything that you do, because not only do you give our children an opportunity to shine, you give them a pathway on how to do it. And Ms. Carrier, you opened the doors for us and gave us an opportunity to be in this space after a 5-minute conversation. And it was a meeting that was supposed to have been a community meeting, and she and I sat there and talked for about half an hour, just about things that we know we needed to do for our community. And I happened to bring up our Lions and thought, it would be awesome if our kids could perform here one day, and you made that happen for us. So thank you so much.
I just might say, I'm here every week. My office is upstairs, and I feel like it is my responsibility to make this space available to people who deserve it. And these kids, I mean, give them a hand. These are their experiences, and this is what our children are going through. You know, it's incredible. I'm not sure I could have listened to much more of it because it had me hurting inside. And so I think it's our responsibility to help our students be in the spotlight, to showcase their work, because our schools, African American schools, public schools, are going away. I mean, let's be clear. They're going away. Not only are they going away, the performing and visual arts in our schools are going away or have gone away. And so this is our shared responsibility to showcase these children and these young people, these almost adults, these children who are having to bear adult trials and tribulations and adult trauma. So I am grateful for you, and it's been my pleasure. Thanks.
Nice.
Is it okay? Christian, raise your hand.
And I will say this in closing, as I present this to Ms. Hickman, just as a small thank you for everything that you've done. I know that a lot of our kids, they share with you their stories, and our job as the adults is to keep them safe, but I'll tell you, our kids keep us safe. And we appreciate every single one of you and what you do and the message that you brought tonight, so thank you. This is for you, Ms. Hickman.
And the other administrators that came, if they could stand up, our administrators. We have teachers here, a phenomenal art teacher who was Teacher of the Year. Stand up. Mr. Irving, who's over our School of Communication. Ms. Johnson. Also an educator on our campus. Are there any other? Mr. Dargis. Where's Mr. Dargis? And students, any of our students, especially my students. And last but not least, parents. Parents. Thank you for trusting me with your kids. talk to the actors, because they did a great job in our crew. Thank you, and God bless you.
We prepared a small reception for you, so let me check on that, and don't leave without having a cookie and some punch.
Okay, thank you.
Arizona.